Well, I'm not Kwame McPherson from Chronicles with Kwame. I'm Trevor Griffiths, as you clearly know. And with me today is a person who's been featured a few times on Chronicles with Kwame. And being in Jamaica, I've had the pleasure of just not only watching her read for the first time, but also to have her in front of me in the hot chair. And she's going to talk with us right here. Tamika Williams. Hi Tamika, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
Oh, good. Now Tamika, what does it feel like? You've just read at Calabash.
I am nervous. I don't want to look at people. I am nervous. It's a first, but it's okay.
It's all part of the human condition. If you're not nervous, I think there'll be something wrong with you, actually.
But I tried to calm my nerves by singing I'm Coming Out. It felt like I was coming out because usually the topic I read about is something that is so hidden that
Yes.
it was a coming out moment for me.
Oh, excellent. We're not going to talk too much about the book.
Yes.
I really like to focus on you.
Yes.
And, getting you ready to, obviously, you went through a real detriment, as we know, which is rape.
Yes.
And you've been healing yourself
Yes, I am.
over some time now. And, when we consider that you're healing, some people will actually look at it, you're healing what's on the surface, like a wound,
Yeah.
when a lot of people don't realise that it goes a lot more deeper, way more deeper.
The physical wounds, the brutality on that side of it has been healed a long time ago. It's what it does, the turmoil takes place inside. And sometimes it might take someone just passing and touching you the wrong way, or looking at you the wrong way, or smelling something from that era that brings it back.
Yeah.
But the healing is possible because of my family.
Okay.
And I believe that we all have people who help us through things.
Yes.
And unless we allow people to help us through things, we will never get through them.
Yeah.
So I have heard people say something has happened to people 10, 20, 15, 50 years ago and they still carry it around.
Yes.
No one has a time frame on
A trauma.
trauma, how to heal. But I have decided to use many different ways to stay sane over the years.
Yes.
And as I've said to Kwame, I wear masks.
Yeah.
I have masks.
You have masks.
I don't put them on literally, but I wear them. And most people see me as this confident person.
Yes.
And I am always about good things and flowers and love and peace and birds.
They always say if you're going through things, the best thing to do is surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with your angels. Surround yourselves in good environment. Surround yourself with good family.
Exactly. But I have, I pretty much started writing this book, not so much for myself.
Okay.
It was based on someone else. I was trying to help someone else.
Yes.
So even though you're hurting, you try to help someone else. And while I started writing the book, I realized I was helping me first.
Fantastic. Now, writing. All right. Was it the incident that brought you to writing, or
No.
that's something that you've always been contemplating on doing?
I was raised in the 60s with my grandparents.
Yes.
My mom went off to England and we were always encouraged to read and write. So because there was no television, no radio,
Yes.
we had to find something to do. And I loved writing, and I used to write mainly rhymes, poems that said how I was feeling.
Yes.
But for many years, I've been thinking about writing. I've been writing. You can find several books strewn all over the house that I've written and just handwritten.
Yes.
Before the computer came into being. Didn't own a typewriter, so handwritten, and then you start them and you throw them down. And it depending on the topic, whether it was racism, whether it was abuse of children, whatever it was, I would write.
Was it kind of a form of cleansing? Was it a form of basically just burning?
Yes, it was.
What?
I didn't feel that people understood what it was like to grow up in Jamaica as a barrel child. A barrel child is usually a child who is left behind by parents who have migrated and send barrels every so often.
Oh
my mom never sent any barrel, so we always felt that we were not wanted. I felt abandoned, and I felt that I was just around my family who took me in took us in to work us.
We talk about the aspects of burning through layers.
Yes.
Burning through layers of trauma, burning through layers, basically that, some people call it debt karma, whereby you don't even realize there's a debt to pay before you even came out of the womb. And then when you do come out of the womb, I mean, the first thing you do is get slapped. Sort of that, you think you come out of the womb and you've done something wrong. And the impact of that, whereby, you drop a glass. What's wrong with you is the question. So you question yourself. And I don't think many people realize the hidden traumas, and they build up, accumulate, and then impact.
Well, there's so much trauma around that is inflicted by other humans.
Yes.
And that's the hardest thing for me. And my husband is someone who he's just very plain. And one of his favorite saying is his father taught him a saying that says, "You're born named Ram, knife have to touch a seed." In other words, you're a ram goat, and they're going to eat you. So Jamaicans eat ram goats.
Yes.
So in short, it was there'll be struggles.
Yes.
But the layers that you speak about today, you have to understand. I thought I was okay. I thought I was healed. I thought I've done everything right. I've surrounded myself in this garden with birds that trust me. Yes. And I come here today and I almost ran from that stage.
No.
Yeah. That's why I went and I said, I'm coming out.
just to recap for everybody, I've just watched Tamika do a recital on the Calabash stage for the open mic. And she did ever so well. Now, we're not going to feature her in this program. This is just a quick chat I'm having. But surely on Chronicles with Kwame, we'll try and get it released on that. So do watch Chronicles with Kwame, and we'll feature Tamika on there. And we can see the full recital you did. Now, living in Jamaica, as you are now, where are you heading for with this new strength, this renewal, this process where I'm sure you've taken the healing, way away from the brokenness, the inflictions?
I just hope that when the book comes out, it will be read.
Yes.
And it will help other people to realize it will address a lot of issues that are still taking place in Jamaica.
Yes.
A lot of it. Parenting is a main part of it, and education. It will address that. But I am hoping that it will get to a place for people to realize that unless we start treating ourselves and each other as humans.
Yes.
As humans. Just watch the series of Roots. And the anger for me in watching that, I know it's not about that show, but this explains exactly what your question asked. The anger for me in just watching that series is most people look at what has happened to us based on the slave masters.
The abuse.
Yes, but nobody look and realize that we're here because our brothers and sisters sold us into slavery. None of those slave masters could have gotten through any of those jungles to capture any slave out of Africa, unless another black person decided they wanted guns or something that the slave master had.
Which to me seems like another layer.
That's another layer.
Of the self-entitlement of whom I will call really the occupant.
Yes.
The Europeans, the Belgians, the Dutch, the Germans.
Yes. The
Great
Scottish.
Britain.
I sit in front
The
of you.
Scottish,
My father
yes.
is Scottish. My mother's father, my grandfather, was a slave boy in Jamaica.
And like in Heart of Darkness, where they decided to sit around a table and carve up.
Yeah.
And then rename a continent that already had its own identity, own identification, and decided to call it this new word, Africa.
Yes.
But not knowing that they are what I would call hidden abuse that goes way through our ancestry, who took the Middle Passage and was distributed around the world away from their land. I think a lot of people don't realise that these two are hidden traumas. And when we feel these and go through these abuses, a lot of people don't realise that more than most, it impacts upon us more than those of their indigenous lands.
Yes.
Whereby what is indigenous to us
Yes.
has been taken away.
Totally. And I really worry about where we will go as a people.
Yes.
When I say people, humans, I'm talking about now, not just black people. Because there's a cycle that we're on this road and we're just going around in a circle. We're just mad people. We're repeating the same things over and over.
Yes, it's quite
Over and
possible.
over, and we're not finding a solution. And people who speak about things that have happened to them are because they are hurting, as you say, peeling away the layers, trying to find a way to help others and to heal themselves. But then it just goes to that point and it's forgotten. And one of the things with books is that you can pick up a book 100 years from now, when the computers are not working, somebody can pick up a book and remember that I wrote something and somebody had been through this experience and this is how they got through it.
Yes. Purpose, what I found by reading books, and it's worked tremendously with me. It worked tremendously with me, but it tells me about the inflictor of the abuse, and it's taught me why they do it. And in a way, I think one of the best things that I found, the power of forgiveness, whereby, I think I've actually mastered it.
That is, it's easy to say you forgot. That it's easy for people to say I have forgiven someone.
Yes.
It's when you get to a point that you realize that no matter how you try not to hurt somebody, you do hurt somebody too, and you expect them to forgive you. So, as some preachers would say, sin is sin. So hurt is hurt.
Okay.
And even though it's not real in some situations, but in order for me to take back my life and I have to forgive, because that means the perpetrator now controls my life now. As long as I don't forgive, they control how I react about something.
That's it.
So it's a selfish way also to forgive. I forgive so that I can move on with my life.
Most definitely. And the abuser
It's up to
cannot control you.
That is it.
You have taken back your own power.
That is it. That is it. Just take it back. Take it back.
Tamika Williams, I can sit down, and it's quite typical of what goes on in Jamaica. We vibe.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realise that television is not really our pastime.
Yeah.
We vibe.
We vibe.
We actually sit down and talk with each other. We reason.
Yeah.
We like enjoying getting into conversations. We like turning the inside out. And the things that we've been through is part of our healing as well.
But the biggest part of my healing is that most women who go through the abuse that I have gone through have given up on men. Totally given up on men because of what I've been through.
Yes.
But I have a man who is pretty much an angel. Pretty much an angel.
Reflecting on what you just said there, we're not saying that women have given up on men for women.
Yeah.
We're saying that
No,
they prefer their solitude, they prefer being alone, but they're not lonely.
No, it's easy. Women can find things to not be alone.
Okay.
And it doesn't have anything to do with sex or sexuality. It's
Yes.
just that women Our brains are wired differently. My husband, for instance, we're going somewhere, and I will get up in the morning, and he knows he's going somewhere, and he has his routine, what he wants to do. But I know I'm coming to Calabash today, and before I get out of bed, I'm already at Calabash. I have programmed the entire way to get to Calabash.
Wow.
So my mind works differently.
Would you say it's sort of like preparing yourself?
Yes.
And preparing yourself.
Yes.
Where mentally you've visualized, scoped it out, know what to expect.
Even though you can't plan it, because we got lost. I didn't plan that we would get lost. We got lost.
Who didn't? Who didn't?
I wasn't driving.
I just won't blame you.
Yeah.
You know, we touched upon what you've been through. We've touched upon how you bring about your healing. We touched upon women
Yes.
who are still trying to fathom their trauma. We talked about how it's impacted so much on their personal being, whereby they're totally not interested in men. We've touched upon the love of solitude. We've touched upon preferentially being alone than taking a chance. If there was a message, first and foremost, we give to men who are not abusers, but are, because, you know, life doesn't come with a manual.
No, it doesn't.
What advice would you give to them in regards of, first and foremost, understanding that woman is not somebody's possession?
It goes both ways, because you have some women who feel that men are their possession.
Oh, yeah.
So it goes both ways. But the understanding I would give to whichever sex feels that the other one is a possession, is that the golden rule: do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And we are beings that we communicate, we have feelings and the same things that you want. And it's simply put, from a Jamaican and a Caribbean perspective, is self-respect. If I respect myself, I will deal with you and command that respect based on all. So if a man or a friend of mine is going to treat me in a disrespectful way, it means I respect myself enough to step away from that situation. So for men or anybody who wants to feel that they own someone, especially black men, I cannot understand it, because we have gone through being owned by people, being treated like animals, less than their dogs. So why would you want to own your own woman? It doesn't make sense. I would say to that person, you would be perpetuating the same slavery that might as well bring out the whips.
Oh my, no, God forbid. God forbid. On that note, Tamika, I've got to say thank you very much for just stopping by and having a conversation with me today.
Thank you so much.
And in Jamaica as well.
In Jamaica, thank you. Kwame, you're next.
Kwame's next. Tamika, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much appreciated.
Pleasure.
Bye for now.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye.